That's all previous damage from previous accidents.
William Lovell's front yard in the town of Meridian Hills,
Dick, how long ago did this happen?
looks more like a junkyard.
That's his pop-up top.
The decorative boulders
This rock here belongs in that bare spot.
are now casualties of consistent car wrecks, and the knocked over safety reflectors doesn't make things better.
Roughly 6 accidents that I've had in my yard in the last 9 months. My grandchildren cannot play in the front yard because we can't trust them to be safe with the traffic.
Here's the issue.
It's poorly lit. There's a ditch.
Cars continually lose control while driving this stretch of Meridian Hills Boulevard connecting West Lane to 73rd, and the majority of crashes involve alcohol. Early Friday morning, a driver police suspect of drinking lost control and smashed into Lovell's last living tree.
Some of the parts are clear over in the next street.
And you know it's going to happen every 6 weeks or so. We just think, oh, there goes another one.
We don't have jurisdiction to put up a guardrail.
Terry O'Brien is a councilman for the town, and he says there's 11 miles of road that belong to Meridian Hills, but this just isn't one of them.
It's a challenge, I think, for the city of Indianapolis to come up with a solution that'll keep cars on the road.
It's inevitable. Somebody's going to die.
A pastor pounded a cross into the ground along the curb to recall the city's latest homicide victim, not dead an hour yet, in an alley across town.
So while the body just now, 7, while we were on the stage, just left, his spirit is not dead.
The spirit was strong on an asphalt campsite as a tent pitched on a patch of grass was home to a minister who knew not all the answers to violence could be found inside his church walls.
He came in the community and slept for 30 days. He heard all the sounds. He saw all the issues. He felt all the pain.
The Bible says that we would have days like this, and we would have months like this. And so what we have to recognize is, what do we do when we have months like this?
And here at the corner of Eugene and MLK, over my shoulder, a community coming together to pray for peace in a neighborhood where gunshots are too often the soundtrack of daily life. To have a healthy and safe daily life, you need access to food and money. But behind me, a bank and a grocery store, both recently closed down.
We need a way to be able to survive within our own surroundings. If you're a single mom, you don't have a car, where are you going to go to the grocery store? We talk about finances and get our money together. How can we do that without a local bank?
Pastor G was not alone in his campsite for peace, as parishioners and neighbors kept him company and counseled troubled souls who stopped by. Did you hear any gunshots?
I did. I did on a couple occasions, I did. But you know what I think? Because we were present here, because the pastor was present here, maybe there were so many that we didn't hear. Maybe there were many that didn't take place just because of his presence.
On a day when another cross was added as a monument to the murdered, an urban camper brought peace to a corner of the city. Russ McQuaid, Fox 59 News.
Good evening, and within the last hour, the coroner has identified that victim who was hit and killed by an IMPD officer suspected of being under the influence as 53-year-old Ronnie Bowling. And tonight, IMPD is out in force, cracking down on drunk drivers.
You've entered a Marion County Traffic Safety Partnership Sobriety Checkpoint. Can I see your driver's license and registration, please?
On this Friday night, IMPD is cracking down on drunk drivers.
Just go ahead, have a good night.
Most random stops, and like that, a quick conversation and the driver is on their way.
We're just making sure that all the drivers out here are capable of driving safely.
The routinely scheduled sobriety checkpoint comes about 24 hours after IMPD questioned the sobriety of one of its own. Police say Officer Bernardo Zavales was off duty, but in his squad car when he hit and killed a pedestrian on Southport Road between Emerson and I-65.
We're waiting to see what the prosecutor does, and we'll move forward.
Police reported the 7-year veteran showed signs of intoxication.
We take this very seriously. We heard you in the past on these issues, and we'll continue to hold people accountable and be transparent, by the way, in this investigation.
IMPD Chief Rick Height has a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to his forced drinking. New policies were put in place after IMPD officer David Bissard hit and killed a motorcyclist while intoxicated in 2010.
If for any reason you have to put your foot down, pick it back up.
Back at the sobriety checkpoint, Sergeant Michael Duke says he's arrested officers before and he won't hesitate to do it again.
If that is a police car, they're coming in, and we're going to look at the driver, and we're going to scrutinize them. And if that officer is found to be intoxicated, then he's going to be going to jail the same as anybody else.
2, 3, 4.
And as you can see here at this checkpoint, police are just pulling 2 cars at random, pulling them off the road, asking them a few questions, and then getting them on their way in most cases. Now, as for the officer who is suspended without police powers tonight, police have yet to release his BAC. Chief Height telling me we should know a lot more Monday morning. Reporting on the South Side, Charlie DeMar, Fox 59 News.
Hi, may I take your order, please?
1 Coney dog basket.
Coney dogs and root beer.
Can I get 2 Coney dogs, a large root beer?
That's the specialty at Dog & Suds.
$24.94.
But that's not what makes them special.
Aubrey's the first one in 18 years that we've lost, so it hit pretty hard.
For about a year, Aubrey Kramer was a car hop at this Lafayette hot dog stand. She had just moved to Florida. This past weekend, she was killed in a car wreck. Aubrey was 19 years old.
She's a very sweet girl. She touched a lot of people in a very short period of time.
In order to have her funeral, Aubrey's family is trying to bring her home from Florida. That's expensive to do, and they're paying medical bills.
We feel part of the family, and so we want to do what we can do.
And that's why tomorrow evening is the Bring Aubrey Home benefit. For every Coney dog, hot dog, and large root beer, $1 will be donated.
We have no goal. I'm sure Aubrey would be happy with whatever we got.
I love this picture.
Aubrey's parents were in the Navy, and she was excited to have joined the National Guard. She wanted to be a combat medic.
I miss the way, she smiled and the way that she made me feel and other people.
Ireland is Aubrey's older sister.
It makes me proud of her.
She's heard from a lot of Aubrey's friends and even strangers telling her the difference Aubrey made in their lives. She knew her little sister was special, and she hopes Aubrey realizes it too.
I hope that she can see. I really do. I hope she can see it.
They came out by the hundreds to march for the 4, the victims of last week's quadruple homicide in the 3100 block of North Harding, just days after 2 other men died in separate slayings not far away.
No more violence! No more violence!
Little kids walked alongside politicians with the power to do something about murder in the streets.
I brought my kids out with me because I think it's important for them to understand that when you believe something is wrong, you stand up for the cause and to get them on the right path and move in the right way.
I'm here because I think that nobody should die at a too young age, or nobody should die if they're like 29 or so.
Reginald Hill died 2 years ago this coming Saturday in a killing still unsolved.
Peace in these streets. Let's stop this violence. It opened up a wound that was beginning to heal for me.
With drums beating and symbols of the season in their hands, they marched on cold pavement in memory of those who were lost. And when the march reached the corner of 31st and Harding, it turned a corner, just like it's trying to turn a corner on violence. David Whitlock's son, Devon, died in the Harding Street house last Tuesday morning.
My son was not into drugs. You know, he was a good kid, man. He was just the wrong place, the wrong time. And I just want to say to all the parents out there, I hope you never had to go through what I had to go through.
But the march proved, if you do, there will be hundreds with you. Russ McQuaid, Fox 59 News.